Trapped on a tower tens of thousands of meters high, how could she possibly save herself? The woman wrote a note for help using an eyeliner pencil, then clipped it onto a drone. Under her control, the drone flew straight toward a distant hotel. But before it got far, the drone gave a low battery warning. They couldn't give up their only hope, so they had to bring it back for now. Now she had to recharge the drone, but there was no 220-volt power source on this sky-high tower. Just as the two were sinking into despair, they thought of the signal light at the top of the tower. Lisa climbed desperately, using both hands and feet. When she reached the very top, unable to contain her excitement, she twisted off the bulb and shoved the plug directly into the socket. Shockingly, this inhuman method actually worked. She hung there for 2 hours until the battery was fully charged. Then, climbing back to the top, she hurriedly sent the drone flying again. She knew that once it reached the hotel, it would definitely catch people's attention. Lisa was thrilled until the very moment it arrived. She had hoped the truck driver there would pick up the drone, but the driver couldn't afford such an expensive item and simply drove away. Lisa had lost her only lifeline and broke down crying. Even the vultures were waiting for their meal, and worse, a storm was rolling in from the distance. The blonde girl beside her kept encouraging Lisa, but when Lisa turned her head, she was nearly scared to tears. Her friend had already died earlier when retrieving the backpack. Unable to accept this cruel reality, Lisa had imagined her presence in her mind. All she had dragged up with all her strength was just the backpack. At that moment, Lisa reached the peak of despair, screaming from the depths of her soul. When the storm arrived, she could only curl up at the top of the tower and wait for death. When the sun rose again, a starving vulture flew over. Spotting the stench coming from her wound, it went straight in for a bite. Suddenly, Lisa grabbed its neck with both hands and refused to let go no matter how it struggled. Driven mad by hunger, she had only one thought in her mind: to survive. Staring at the fresh meat before her, she began eating it in big, ravenous bites. Once full, she came up with a bold idea. She secured her safety rope and began climbing down the ladder. When she reached above the dish cover, she swiftly unhooked the rope and jumped onto it. Rope